anyone?
Overloading.
Okay. Only Rupak is able to answer. How about others? Every time I'm seeing only Rupak is answering. How about others? Huh? Shall I give full marks only for Rupak? How about others? Shall I give 0 for everyone others? If you're not answering, it will be the same. It shows that he is only attentive. Okay. Let's start. So we've done with all these yesterday. Keywords, this instance variable hiding, garbage collection, finalize. Stack also we have seen how the stack elements push pop, push and pop. What is stack? LIFO. So whichever elements comes last will be the one which comes out first. So this we have seen how to empty the stack. If it is empty, how it is, and after that you keep inserting the elements. Then we call it as overflow, or we call it as a underflow. So then we have seen a small program for a stack, and we have told that we have used a constructor, and we have used push and pop. Push is for inserting, pop is for deleting, which you already know. And we are inserting some elements to the we have created two stacks, stack 1 and stack 2, as in two objects, and we are inserting elements into these two stacks. So then we have started with the overloading method. So what do we mean by overloading method? Having more than one method with the same name is called as a method overloading. To implement this concept, the constraints are the number of arguments should be different. So what they say, the number of arguments what we pass should be different. The type of argument must be different. So that's what here number. What are the number of arguments we pass, and the type, whether the data type, what data type it is. So for that we have seen what is a test. This is overload, and in this test there were one, two, three, four methods with the same name as test, but the first one without parameter, second one with one parameter and the data type is integer, and the second one test, there is two parameters a and b, and data type is integer, and one more method test with the data type is double, and we are just displaying the sending our values to the objects. So in the same way, overloaded constructor. So we can have more than one constructor for a single class in the number, and or type of arguments are different considering the following code. So we have just seen how the overload constructors also we can create, which we have already seen what is a constructor. So here what we are doing, we are using variable ab, and we are using a constructor, one constructor without parameter, one more constructor with single parameter, and the data type is integer. So in the same way, one more overload constructor where two parameters we are passing of data type integer. So this again here we have initialized int as ab, and here no parameters. So just we are saying constructor without parameter, and here we are taking one variable, one data, that is int of x, constructor with one argument, and we are displaying that argument. So in the same way, one more constructor where two variables are passed, x and y, and data type is integer, and we are passing that values x, y to a and b, and here we are displaying them, that is a and b. So the same way we are creating three objects, object 1, object 2, and object 3. So this will be the problem once if you people come in between. I have to allow you to admit, right?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Adab.
Ma'am,
Yes.
your screen is not.
Oh, it is not shared. Huh? So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we have seen about method overloading, and here we have created three tests. That is test one methods we have created. Test four methods we have taken. One with parameter, one without parameter, one with single parameter, one with two parameters, that is A and B, and one more with one more parameter called as a double. And we are passing the values to that. And the same way, for overloaded constructors, we can have more than one constructor of a single class. If the number A and or type of arguments are different, and we consider something like this. So what we are doing here is class overload constructor. So we are passing A and B. So then overload constructor, we're displaying only, because we are not passing any parameters here, we're just displaying only this single print statement. So then overload constructor, that is int and x. So then x is equals to a. We are just passing one variable called as x to a variable called a, and we are displaying it. So then overload constructor, two variables x and y, and two integers values x and y, and we're passing to these values and displaying them. So that is a is displayed and b is displayed. So then we are creating the three objects for separate constructors. One constructor where we are just displaying it as a constructor without argument. So that's what here the first one will be doing. And the second one, we are creating one more object, and constructor will be, we are passing 10 to the object where this constructor will be taken, and that what is the value we are taking, 10. So one constructor with one argument, that is 10, will be displayed. And one more, that is object with a, we are passing x and y, and we are displaying them. So that's what here overloaded constructor, that is 5 and 12. So then we are just displaying them, two things, 5 and 10. So 5 and 12 are displayed for this particular constructor will be called. Okay, so next, using objects as a parameter. Just similar to the primitive types, even objects of the class can also be passed as a parameter to any method, considering the following example. So we can consider the same example here. So class test, int a comma b. Test, we are passing two parameters, int I and int j. Then a equal to I, b equal to j. So then one method called as a boolean, where equals test, and we are passing the object. So whether a is equal to a and b is equal to b, we are just checking like that. If it is true, it will return true, else false. So boolean, what it is doing, it is just checking whether it is true or false. So in the same way, passing the objects. So that was our main thing here. And how do we pass the object? So we are creating an object 1, 2, and 3. So we are passing for this object 100 and 22. So the same way, we are creating one more object called as OB2, and we are passing again 100 and 22. Third object, we are passing -1 and -1. And we are displaying object 1, and we are checking whether object 1 is equal to object 2. So here we are just checking whether object 1 is equal to object 2. So if it is equal, then it will display true. And if it is not equal, it will display it as a false. So that's what here you can see, 100 and 100, 22, 22 is equal. So object 1 is equal to object 2, so it is true. So whereas object 3, what it is that, -1, -1, and here we have 122. So that's what here object 1 is equal to object 3, and this becomes a false. So using one object to initialize the other. Sometimes even we may take one object and consider that to the other object. Sometimes we may need to have a replica of one object. The usage of the following statement will not serve the purpose. So then box P1 equal to new, and what are the parameters we are passing? We are passing 2, 3, and 4. And that B1 again is passed where? Again it is passed to okay. So here this B1 is passed to B2. So in the above case, both B1 and B2 will be referring to the same object. So that's what we have seen. One more example, but the memory location will be same, but the objects are different, and B1 is again referred to B2. In the above case, both B1 and B2 will be referring to the same object, but not two different objects. So we can write a constructor having a parameter of same class type to clone an object. So that's what here we are seeing, using one object to initialize the other. What we have done, we have created one object called as a B1, and that B1 is again assigned to one more object called as a B2. So that's what here we call it as a use one object to initialize the other object. So taking an small example for that. So class box is one class, and variables what we are declaring height, width, and w, d as a double, and here box we are taking as a constructor, and we are passing three variables, ht, wd, and dp, and the data types for all these is double. All the three it is double, and whatever we are initializing, h equals to ht, w equals to wd, d equals to dp. Box, observe this constructor, h equals to bx dot h, w equals to bx dot w, d equals to bx dot d. So here what we are doing, again one more constructor, box. Observe this constructor, that is h equals to bs dot h. We are passing this box to here. We are creating a observe the constructor here. So we are directly passing the box here, and we are calculating the volume of that box. Multiply all the three, that is height, width, and distance, and display both. We are displaying, that is mean, and b1 equals to new box 2, 3. We are passing the values for the box b1 as 2, 3, and 4, and we are initializing b1 box b1 to a b2. That's what here we are doing, and we are calculating volumes for both b1, b2. So 24, 24. So that's about your passing the object as a parameter. Okay. So next you would have studied, somewhere did you study about call by value and call by reference? Anytime studied call by value and call by reference? Yes, a closer. Yes, in the C you have studied call by value and call by reference. Yes, here also we just will look what it is. So what this is doing is, we'll just see a closer look at the argument how do we pass. So in Java, there are two ways of passing arguments to a method. One is call by value and call by reference. Call by value means we directly pass values to the arguments. That is call by value. This approach copies the value of an argument into the formal parameters of a method. Therefore, changes made to the parameter of the method have no effect on the argument. That's what is call by value. This approach copies the value of an argument into the formal parameter of a method. Therefore, changes made to the parameters of the method have no effect on the argument. Call by reference. In this approach, a reference to an argument is passed to the parameters inside the subroutine. This reference is used to access the actual argument specified in the call. So this means that the change made to the parameter will affect argument used to call the subroutine. So you would have studied in C what is call by value and call by reference. Same way here also. Call by value, this approach copies the value of arguments, whatever the value are there in the arguments, into the formal parameter of a method. Therefore, changes made to the parameter of a method have no effect on the argument. In call by reference, in this approach, reference to an argument is passed to the parameter. Inside the subroutine, this reference is used to access the actual argument specified in the call. This means that changes made to the parameter will affect the argument used by the subroutine. So in Java, when we pass a primitive type of types to a method, it is passed by value. So when you pass an object to a method, they are passed by the reference. So in Java, how do we call by value and call by reference? So we say that in Java, when you pass a parameter data type, so primitive data type are what? Int, float, character. So those, if you're passing to a method, then we call it as a value, passed by value. When you pass an object, sorry, what happened? Okay. So when you pass an object to a method, they are passed by reference. Keep in mind that when you create a variable of a class type, you are only creating a reference to an object. Thus, when you pass this reference to a method, the parameters that receives it will refer to the same object as that referred to by the argument. This effectively means that objects are passed to a method by use of call by reference. Change the object inside the method to do affect the object used as an argument. So that's what here in Java, how do we say call by value and call by reference? So in Java, when you pass a primitive data primitive types like integer, float, character, string, so then to a method. So when you're passing for a method, then that is called as a passed by value. When you pass an object, so in the uh, Java, when we are passing an object, then it is called as a method. They are passed by the reference. Keep in mind that when you create a variable of a class type, you are only creating a reference to an object. Thus, when you pass this reference to a method, the parameter that receives it will refer to the same object as that referred to by the argument. This effectively means that objects are passed to methods by use of call by reference. Change the object inside the method do not affect the object used as an argument. So let us take one small program and see how this is working. So class test. So in this case, so what we have done, int a comma b, test int I and int j, and we are passing this I and j to the variables a and b. And one more method we are using, that is meth, and it is not returning anything. So we have a void, and we have a object here that is a test o. So o dot a multiplied into 2 and o dot b divided by 2. So what we are doing, we are passing a value 15 and 20. For a we are passing 15 and for b we are passing 20. For the object we have created ob. And after that, we are just, before calling, we are just displaying what is a value and b value. After calculating, what are the values for a and b. So that's what here, before doing anything, what are the values we have for a, it is 15, and for b, it is 20. So whatever we have passed, it will be displayed, that is 15 and 20. After that, we in the first, this method, we are passing an object. So here in this case, this is a call by value and this is a call by reference. Here we are passing what we are passing? Primitive data types we are passing, I and j. And here we are passing a method. We are passing a object here. And multiply into 2. So we are 15 into 2 is 10. And again, b value is 20. 20 divided by 2 is what? 10. So that's what here, this is a value for call by value and call by reference. Okay, next one, returning an object. In Java, a method can return an object of user-defined class. So how do we return? So that's what here, class test int a, int, what we are passing one parameter, that is I, and that I is passed to a variable called as a, and we are taking one more method. So increment by 10. So we are just creating an object temp and add 10 to a and return that to return that. So then what we are doing, and again create a class and pass 2 to the object, pass away value 2 to object 1, and one more we are just taking object 2, and we are calling object 1 and a method increment by 10 to object 2 and display them both object 1a and object 2a. Then increment again we are calling after second time increase and again display that. So initially what we have, the value of a, what we are passing 2. So first one it will display 2. After that again it will increment a plus 10. So again 2 plus 10 is what, 12. So here it is displaying 12. So again after that again we are one more time we are calling this increment method, increment by 10. So already we were having 12. So 12 plus 10 is what, 22. So this object here, this one will be displaying 22. So this is how we are returning objects to the methods. So in Java, a method can return an object of user defined class. Is that one more has come and I have to admit them. See, they have come. Okay, this was a thing what it says, returning an object. So next we move on to the recursion. Anybody, anywhere you have seen recursion? Anytime did you see recursion?
See.
Sir.
Okay, so what is recursion?
When a function call itself.
Yes, correct. So what is recursion? Recursion means calling the function again and again, any number of times. A method which invokes itself, a method which invokes itself either directly or indirectly is called as a recursive method. So every recursive method should satisfy the following constraints. Again, when we say recursion, the function calling itself is called as a recursion. And we say some constraint should be followed by a method. So it should have at least one non-recursive terminating condition. Because I have to say I end somewhere. So I should get a condition. So that's what recursive terminating condition. In every step, it should be near to the solution. So every time, every iteration, whenever we do for recursion, it should reach, it should be closer to the stopping condition, or it should go for the solution. Okay, you would have seen in all the things what is a factorial. So same program, let us also take class factorial. So if fact, so we are just checking whether the fact, and we have a function called as a fact, and we are passing one variable called as a n and of data type integer. And initially we are checking whether n is 0. So if it is 0, the value of n is 0, then it should return 1. If it is not 0, then it has to calculate the fact n into fact of n minus 1 for all the values whatever we pass for the n. So this is a factorial function. Now creating a main function. So where this I am repeatedly saying this is a main function for all the programs. Then we are creating an object f with a new. This is a factorial. This is a class name. For this class, we are creating an object and we are passing first time 3. So what is 3 factorial? What is 3 factorial? Can anybody say what is a 3 factorial?
6.
Yes. So 6. So factorial of 8 is 40320. So that's what here. For 3 also we are calculating the factorial, and for 8 also we are calculating the factorial. So factorial, how we are doing? So f is what? F is a object and fact is what? Is a method. What this method is doing? It is calculating the factorial of a number. So that's the reason factorial 3 is 6, factorial 8 is 40320. Okay, next we move on to the access control. How should I control? Whether I should share my PPT to all second semester students, or should I share only to class representative, or should I not share? So that's what here, how to control, how I should control the access. So encapsulation features of Java provides a safety measure access control. control using access specifier, we can restrict the member variable of a class from outside manipulation. Java provides following access specifier: public, private, and protected. Along with above classes, above access specifier, Java defines a default access level. So that's what here Java provides following access specifiers. That is public. Public means it can be used by everyone. I have just shared my notes in GCR. All second semester students can access. That is public. Then private, I will just only send to some student. That is private. Or protected, I will send for a class representative and she will send only for her friends. Then that is what protected. Some aspects of access control are related to inheritance and package, a collection of related classes. So when do we go for access control? When should I want these controls to be done? So that's what sometimes we may use them in the inheritance or we may use them in the package. So the protected specifier is applied only when inheritance is involved. So we will now discuss about only a private and public. So when a member of a class is modified by a public specifier, then that member can be accessed by any other code. When a member of a class is specified as private, then that member can only be accessed by other member of its class. When no access specifier is used, then by default, the member of class is public without its own package. So, but cannot be accessed outside of its package. So restricting access to the data members of the class, allowing access only through the method. So also there will be times when you will want to define methods that are private to a class. And access specifier precedes the rest of the member type specification. For example, if I say public int x, x can be used in complete class. And if I say private character ch, so it can be used, it is restricted. We are not allowing everyone to use the ch. We are restricting. Then that is what is called as a private. So let us see one small program. So now class test. In this we have taken int a. So we have taken public access specifier public for B, and for A we have not specified anything. For B we have told it as a public, and for C we are saying it as a private. And we are creating one method called as a set C. So then we are saying one variable we have passed int, and we are saying C should be whatever we have in I, that should be passed to C, and get C and return. So access public static void same, create an object with the OB, and we are passing for A 10, and for B we are passing 20, and for C either you can pass this, just to show you what is the thing. If you pass something like this, it will give a error. And if we pass something like this, object dot set C. So what is this set C? Set C is a method, and for that we are passing 100. Sorry. So then this is one way. Then we are displaying ABC. So that object we are calling object dot A and object dot B. Then we are passing this object get C. So take this value and return to C. This is, we are using two methods, get C and set, and we are displaying. So can anyone say what will be the output for this program? Can anyone say what will be the output for this program? Yes, anybody? What's out?
It will display on 10 and 20.
How about C? How about C?
And 10, 20, and 100.
Yes. So it will be displaying the values. This is about your public and private. Next, we move on to a static. So what is the dictionary meaning of static is? Static means which will not change. So that is what is called. So can we change pi value? What is a pi value? What's a pi value? Can anyone say what is a pi value?
3.1.
Yes, 3.142. Can I change the pi value something else? Is it allowed?
No, ma'am.
No, so that is universal constant. I cannot change. Similarly, here the static means if I assign something, I cannot change. Maybe it is value, maybe it's memory location. So when a member is declared static, it can be accessed before any objects of its class are created and without reference to any object. Instance variables declared as static are global variable. When objects of its class are declared, no copy of static variable is made. Instead, all instances of class shared the same static variable. So about static, so method, when you're declaring the methods as a static, and there is some restriction. They can only call other static methods. They must only access static data. They cannot refer to this or super in any way. So that's what here the method says. Method declaration as a static have several restrictions. They can only call other static methods. They must only access static data. They cannot refer to this or a super in any way. So let us take one small example. So use.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
There is someone asked some question in chat box, and I also, ma'am, in previous program, we are using public as access specifier, public and private.
Okay.
Ma'am, in private, what is the use if it is displaying the output for us?
You can see here. So we cannot directly create. That's what I just gave. Two lines are there. First line, it is commented. You can see object.c equals to 100, right? So if you pass like directly like this, you'll get error. It will not display 100. You cannot. Whereas when you pass through the method, so here we have created a method called setC. Yes, for that setC we are passing the value I, and that I in turn we are initializing it to C. So if you're doing that, then it will be displayed. Getting?
Excuse me, ma'am.
One second.
What if there wasn't any method? Then how could we pass the value if there wasn't any method for the C?
There wasn't
any method for C. Then how do we pass the value?
So if you're directly passing, then it will be difficult. So if you have method, then you have to display. That's what it says here. No, if you are directly displaying, it will give you an error. If you are passing through method, it will display the value. I understood, Raman. You're saying that if I don't have these two methods, what will happen for C, right? Yes. So that's what I first, this line says you, if you're directly taking the C, then it will give you an error. If you are passing through the methods, then it will display 100.
Ma'am, for one thing, here, ma'am, we are taking directly in A. We are declaring public and C as private.
Okay.
Ma'am, your public private is something like that global or local variable. That is like.
Yes. Public means any methods can access that value. Now B, we have made it as public, right? This can be accessed by anybody. And anybody in sense, this method, any methods can be accessed the value B.
Same as like, ma'am, in C when we use local and global variables.
Yes.
Like that only.
Yes. Global means what? Global means anybody can access, right? If you declare global, that value can be used by any method within that class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Same way here, public also. If you say public, any method within that class can be accessed. Private means you're restricting. That's what I gave you an example. What I'm saying, if I say public, I can just put my notes in GCR, all 60 of you can access, right? Suppose if I send only for Raman, what he'll do, he'll just send to his friends. Then it is protected. Means it is not reaching for all 60. It is reaching only for Raman's friend. That's what private says.
For the second, when you are using void set C in type, for C, we can only use these 2 lines, 2-3 lines of code when we are declaring it as private.
Yes, you can do it. But here, what is the thing is, even you can avoid this also. But here, because it is not returning anything, we have to take one more method. Got it? Set C, because we have declared it as a void, which is not returning anything, right? When we are saying void, it is not returning anything. I want C to be returned, right? So in that case, we are here, in this case, we are just using a return. I'm saying that where method name as int.
Okay.
You can do in a single line also the same program, but just to explain you how the public private works, I've just elaborated it.
Okay.
Okay. We were done with this. So method declared as static have several restrictions. They can only call other static method. They must only access static data. Akrut, if you just put in the message, I may not be seeing it. It will not be visible, and I have to go back at the end and explain you the doubts. If it is okay for you people, I am also okay, because I cannot see the messages, a comment in the message box, because my screen will be full. Okay, but I can only see at the end. When I stop my presenting, then only I can. It will be visible to me. Okay, they can only, when we say static, method declared as static have several restrictions. So that's what here, they can only call other static methods. They must only access static data. They cannot refer to this or super in any way. So use class using the static. So here we have told static. So dictionary meaning of static means what? Which will not change. Same way here, we are taking two variables A and B, and data type int, as well as we are saying it as a static. And A, we are told it, we are making it as a value 3, and B, we are not doing anything. So again, we are calling static method only, and we are calculating something or displaying something. So what we are doing here is we are just passing X, and X is displayed here, as well as B is displayed, A is displayed, and B is displayed. Okay, then we are calling a static block. What is the static block is doing? It is just multiplying B equals to A into 4. We are just multiplying. We are doing some operations, that is B equals to A into 4. Then in this method, we are passing a value 42. So for X, what we are passing a 42. And first, initially, we are displaying X as 42. And what is A value? A value, we know that it is 3. So 3 we are displaying. And what is B we are doing? So B is what? 3 into 4. So what is 3 into 4? 12. So that we are, it will be displayed here. B equals to 12. So, and because when we enter this, so this static block is initialized automatically. When we are using this value to calculate, then this static will be initiated. So that's what the static method will be doing. So outside of this class in which they are defined, static methods and variables can be used independently of any object. To do so, you need only specify name of their class followed by a dot operator. So that's what here, the general form, what we are doing, class name, what was the class name, any class name, box, anything, and dot that particular method. So let us take the class static, and we have taken A equal to 42, B equal to 99. And we are we are just creating one more method called as a call me, and it is not returning anything, and we are making that call me as a static method, and we are displaying a value inside the static method. So this is a static method. Yes. So then we are creating one more class, and we are just displaying this line is same as we say public static void main. So then we are calling this static demo. We are creating an object, and we are calling this method, static method, as call me. So that's what here call me will be created. And inside the main, we are just displaying static demo dot b. We are created an object called as a static demo, and we are calling this method call me, and we are displaying. So first time, because you're directly calling static call me, it will go here. And what is the value of A? 42. That will be displayed here. Again, here in this line, what we are doing, we are calling B. So static demo dot b. Again, it will come here. So then again, inside the main. So this will just display inside main here. And what is static demo b? What is the value here? B value is 99. So static demo dot b, it will be displaying a 99. That's what these two lines will be doing. One time call me, it will go here and it will display a value, and next time it is directly printing b, it will take the value of b as 99, it is displaying. Okay, so next we move on to array. Did you see array anytime did you see arrays?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So before starting, let me take attendance. Date is 1/6. Answer your attendance, Anaga.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash.
Yes, ma'am.
Akhil.
Ma'am.
Akrut.
Yes, ma'am.
Anusha.
Yes, ma'am.
Arvind.
Present, ma'am.
Arifullah.
Yes, ma'am.
Benaka.
Present, ma'am.
Banu Prakash.
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav. Rahmatullah. Chaitra.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, I'll just check. Chandana. Charan.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, Chandana present, ma'am.
Okay. Darshan.
Present, ma'am.
Diksha.
Present, ma'am.
2 days you were absent, madam.
Ma'am, the previous last class I was absent, ma'am. The previous before that I was present, ma'am.
Okay. Dakshayani.
Present, ma'am.
Kishan.
Present, ma'am.
Harshit. Hemalata.
Present, ma'am.
Uma.
Arshit present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Magda Harshit. Jayant.
Present, ma'am.
Divya.
Yes, ma'am.
Kaushik.
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi.
Present, ma'am.
Lavanya.
Present, ma'am.
Manish.
Present, ma'am.
Manoj.
Present, ma'am.
Mohit.
Yes, ma'am.
Naval.
Yes, ma'am.
Navya.
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil.
Present, ma'am.
Padindra.
Present, ma'am.
Pavan.
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja.
Present, ma'am.
Purnima.
Yes, ma'am.
Hemalata. Magda Hemalata. Raman.
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi.
Present, ma'am.
Rupak. Sai
Yes,
Kumar.
ma'am.
Sai Kumar. Samir.
Present, ma'am.
Sir, last 2 classes, sir. Last 2 classes you were absent, sir. Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Sadab.
Present, ma'am.
Sharan.
My problem, ma'am.
Shashank,
Present, ma'am.
Sheetal,
Present, ma'am.
Shivani,
Mic issues, ma'am.
yeah. Soumya,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Shri Vishnu,
Present, ma'am.
Sugandhini,
Present, ma'am.
Sushma,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita you,
Present, ma'am.
Kirta,
Present, ma'am.
Trupti,
Present, ma'am.
Varsha,
Present, ma'am.
Veena,
Present, ma'am.
okay. So we just bring,
I'm Ramatullah and Lavanya present, ma'am.
okay, Mark Abhilash. Okay, so before starting a race, I don't want to start a race today's class. So still we have some time. So we'll just brief out what we have done in today's class. We have started with method overloading. We have seen in the last class only, but again we have just relooked it, method overloading method. So what is overloading method? We can have same name for the methods, but what should be different is at least parameters should be different or the data type should be different. That's what the method overloading says. We can have same name, but methods, that is parameters, should be different and data types at least should be different. That's what. Yes, someone is asked. Calling. Hello. Hello. Someone can go for mute, please. Who is that? Someone is on the mute. Mute your thing. Mute yourself. We are able to hear the voice. Okay. So that's what here. Test, we have 4 methods. Test without parameters, test with 1 parameter, 2 parameters, and 1 more parameter. And we have seen the same thing with the constructor, overloading with constructor. So we have a 1 constructor where without parameters, 1 constructor with 1 single parameter, and 1 more constructor with 2 parameters. And we are just passing some values to them and displaying them. That's what about overloading with constructors. So then using an object as a parameter. So sometimes we may use an object itself as a parameter. So that's an example here. So we have created one constructor test, and we are passing 2 variables, that is I and j, and we are just checking whether it is equal or not, whether the value of a is equal to b or not, and we are just checking with the objects. So that's what we have created, object 1 and object 2, and we just compare whether this object 1 value and object 2 values are same or not. If it is same, we say true. If it is false, if it is not same, then we say it is a false. And we are just displaying here whether object 1 and object 2 have the same value. If it is having same value, we are saying true. If object 1 and object 3 are having a different, so then we say it is a false. Then using an one object to initialize another. So we have seen that we have just having a first object is created b1, and that object is passed to a b2. So that's what your object is passed, and we are displaying the values, both the values, and we are calculating the volume for that. Next we move on, passing the arguments. How do we pass? And we have seen in C and C++ call by value and call by reference. Call by value in C, what we have told, when we are passing the actual values. What is call by reference? We have seen in C, we told that whenever we are passing the address of the memory location, we called it as a call by reference. Whereas in Java, what we call by value is whenever we are passing primitive data type to the methods, then we call it as a call by value. So when we are passing an object to the method, then we call it as a call by reference in Java. So that's what here we are just shown how the we are passing an object and how we are passing values. So here in the test we are passing the values I and j. In meth we are passing an object. So then returning an object. So here if I want to return an object, so I want to pass the values to the object. So here in this case we have taken a test object 1 and object 2. These are again constructors. So again in the constructors we are incrementing by 10 and displaying them. So that's what here object 1a 2 we have, then we have incremented multiplied by 10, it becomes 12. Later on again we are multiplying it, adding it by 10, so it will be 22. Then we have started with recursion. So what is recursion? A function calling itself is called as a recursion. And how do we terminate? When should we say the recursion should satisfy two things? One is it should reach to the terminating condition. So again, it should not go to infinite loop. It should recursion should terminate. So then whenever we move on, one iteration is over, second iteration over, then we should see to that it is reaching to the end. So that's what the second step says to us. The same we have used here a factorial. We are calculating factorial of 3 and factorial of 8. Then we have seen what is public, private, and protected. And in this, we have just seen about public and private. So here in this case, we are using and creating an object and we are passing 100, 200, 10, 20, and 100. And we are using a static method in static variable. So they can only call other static member. They must only access static data. They cannot refer to this or a super anyway. And here we have just used a static and we have calculated, we are passing x is equal to 42, a equals to 3, and b equals to 12. So that's what here it will be calculating, because a is 3, 3 into 4 is 12, so b value will be 12. So then we have seen how the static methods are being taken. One is calling a method, call me method, and one more is we are just created an object and we are just passing b value to that. I will stop here. We'll continue in the next class with the arrays.